I definitely feel that the fan base, basketball fan base, had an idea of how LeBron's career was supposed to go, and it was supposed to go like Michael Jordan's career. He's supposed to stay in Cleveland his entire time and win 6 to 7 rings, right? And he had other ideas for his career, and people at the time didn't understand why would he do that, right? They looked at it as a weak move. It's a weak move that he go team up with another all-star and another all-star. So yes, that was a big part of it. I think at the same time as well, they wasn't used to playing at that time. It wasn't used to players having control. You know what I mean? Organizations made trades. That's what happened. Free agency before that was not really that sexy like that. And even though it was some guys who, like I think it was Orlando Magic who had an opportunity to do some sexy stuff with Tim Duncan possibly and Grant Hill and T Mac, like that would have been sexy, but that didn't happen. And it just wasn't something that was really the sexy thing to do. And at that moment when we made a decision as players and kind of put the control in the player's hand and change the dynamics of what people were used to, you always going to get hate. It's like Allen Iverson came in with braids and tattoos and sleeves, and everybody's like, this is not how the best player in the game looks. They look like Michael Jordan. They don't have tattoos. They don't, and that wasn't Allen Iverson. So you get hate when you're the first ones to do it in the way we did it. And so we understand it. Eventually we understood it because we kind of opened up this path for players to do it for a period of time, and it became the wave. And I'm glad we did. I'm glad we took the hate. But I seen some real hatred out there, JJ. I'm talking about, I see some ugliness, and I from fans that I didn't know existed. And I come from the inner city of Chicago, and I didn't know some of this ugliness existed in the world. And when we talk about racism, when we talk about the things that people said to us, it was on display night after night.
This is at the arena. This is not just people trolling on social media. You're saying this is at the arena. You're hearing stuff being said.
Yeah, this is at the arenas. This is in our everyday life, right? Of us traveling, going places. At that time we had to have so much security around us because the hate was real, and people would say some of the things that you would just look at them and say, like, you don't even know me. Like, how you speak of me in this, how can you speak of me in this way? But I would never forget the Cleveland game. The first time we went back to Cleveland, I will never forget being in the locker room. And that was the time where I looked at LeBron. I was like, okay, this guy's he's not normal. He's really not normal. I've always said it, but I really felt it. But the hatred that I heard in the locker room, I've never heard hate before. You know what I mean? Like, you can hear someone say something, but if you ever heard the sound of hate, it is the most, like, uncomfortable thing to experience. And, like, I remember walking out of the tunnel, and it wasn't just boos, and it wasn't just I hate yous. It was the look on people's faces. It was the things that was coming out of their mouths and, like, how raged they were, like, in anger, that I said, I will never forget this moment a day in my life about, how someone can really hate you for making a basketball decision that you felt was best for yourself and your family. Is crazy to me.
Man, the Miami Big Three, man, they weren't as dominant as I thought they would be. When LeBron and Chris Bosh both came to Miami, man, I thought they was going to be smacking teams. I thought they were, they won 2 championships in 4 years, which is great, don't get me wrong. But I thought they would be a lot more dominant, a much more dominant team than they were throughout their run. But, hey, everything don't always go according to plan. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. What up, though? My name is Kevin Melson with Beyond Your Limits, and in this video here we got Dwyane Wade on the JJ Redick's podcast, and he's talking about how the Miami Big Three was not well received once they got together, and a lot of people didn't understand what LeBron was doing or didn't like what LeBron was doing, taking control of his career and leaving Cleveland to go somewhere else. But that's just how it goes. When you don't do what everyone is expecting you to do, people are going to hate you for it. You're gonna receive a lot of slander. A lot of people are gonna talk bad about you if you don't do what they're expecting you to do. If you're not the model of what they thought that you were, and in a way, everyone was looking for LeBron who was becoming the best player in the league. Well, he was probably the best. He was the best player in the league at that time, I believe. But they wanted him to be the best player in the league the way Michael Jordan was the best player in the league. And you know, that's nonsense, because he's not Michael Jordan, so he's not gonna do things the way Michael Jordan done them. And so when people see you know, a split from how they expect things to go, you know, they get angry. They, you know, they burnt his jersey, called him all kind of names and everything, you know, said that was a weak move. And Dwyane Wade brought up another example, like Allen Iverson. When Allen Iverson came into the league, you know, he wasn't embraced because he wasn't the stereotypical superstar in the NBA. You know, superstars was clean cut like Michael Jordan. You know, they had their shirt tucked in and wore a suit to the game. You know, Allen Iverson was coming with baggy sweatpants and tattoos and do-rags and braids, and you know, people wasn't used to that. And so when people are not used to that, they reject it. And so, you know, a lot of people, especially older people, reject it. You know, people that's been watching the NBA for a long time and they see how things going and how things are supposed to go. When they don't go that way, you know, they reject it. But you know, the younger kids, you know, they loved it. That's what they were used to. But they didn't know about the old way of the NBA. They just knew Allen Iverson and what he was doing, and that's the same thing that they were doing. And so the younger generation always embrace it, but it's the older generation that try to hold on to traditions and things like that and think that things will never change and things will always be the same. But in life, everything changes all the time. I mean, nothing stays the same for long. If you just look at the NBA, if you look at the way the game is played today, it's a lot different than it was, 20 years ago. You know, now it's, you know, everybody's shooting. You either shoot a three-pointer or a layup. They're not mid-range shots or anything like that. I mean, there's a few guys like Kawhi Leonard that shoot mid-range shots, but I mean, a lot of teams seen the success that Golden State had, and they try to mimic that, because the NBA is a copycat league. If you see somebody having success doing something, everybody else tries to copy it. But just the point of this video is just be comfortable in your own skin, even if it goes against the grain of what people expect or what people are used to. Just be you, play the best you can, do the best you can, and that's all anybody can ask from you, that you do your best. Even if your best looks different than somebody else's best, you just keep your confidence and play hard, and everything will work out for your good. So click a link in the description, a link in the bio. Get yourself some help on your basketball journey. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'm out.